Road Creek Radio. We give you a verbal image of life, and we are able. People like to welcome you all to the show. Look, I just want to say that this is going to be a brief show, but it's just some things that needs to be touched upon in the midst of the protests dealing with all the police brutalities and cop killings of unarmed black men. We have to identify who we are, meaning going forth, post environment of police brutality, the death of George Floyd, the death of Elijah McClain, the fire burnings, the damage of property, the no justice, no peace. When all the dust clears, right, we got to look in the mirror and ask and define who are we? What are our attributes? What are our characteristics that describes a quote-unquote black male in America, right? And the reason why I say quote-unquote black male in America, because we have to get into identification. Okay. Now, if you are a melanated person, and as you always hear me say that, it doesn't matter the degree of melanin in your skin, meaning it don't matter how light you are, how dark you are, you still are a victim of racism, and you still can get murdered by the police. So that means nothing. But what matters is your qualifications. Now, I know a lot of you now are hearing a term called Moor. You rather heard that term back in the 80s and the 90s, probably early 2000s. But it's coming up now of the history of the Moors that was in America before Columbus. As a matter of fact, you'll see a Moor on a horse near an old picture of George Washington. And you'll see him with a turban on, that been in this country before Columbus came, right? But you have to qualify yourself, as Brother Low Key was explaining to me, that to be a Moor, meaning that you have to do some research, you have to do some studying, you have to know the laws of the land that you live in, and when you do those things and people run across you, they'll recognize you and say, oh, are you a Moor? Because you have knowledge, you know, right? To be a Muslim, right, is requirements. You know, you might pray 5 times a day. You're not eating the swine flesh. You got belief in one God. You're doing zakat, you're doing charity. Or you'll make a Hajj to Mecca at least once in your lifetime, or you'll hit Savior's Day in Chicago, right? If you can't make it to Mecca, right? Muslim, right? But you're doing something. It's actions behind the word, right? Okay. But we are all family because we share that same common denominator, which is melanin. Then you want to take it a step higher and get into certain schools of thought that identifies with you in your educated past, meaning with your educated ancestors who studied their identity, they studied their culture, their knowledge, astronomy, cosmology, the universe, mathematics, science, but the most of all, they study themselves. And so to identify you have to take all the good. I mean, take credit for building the pyramids, right? Take credit for having the first universities, such as in Timbuktu. Take credit for civilizing the uncivilized. Take credit for the advancements that you made and your ancestors made, meaning, and that's you, to to society, right? So when people try to give you a negative attribute or negative characteristics, but they try to say that, okay, well, in order to be real or be true, or in order to be black, you have to be in some type of suffering. You have to be in some type of poverty. You're not reading books. All of those is the opposite of what black is. You have to be upset. You got to be angry. You got to always talk about hard times and how hard life is. You know, that's not being a melanated person or a black person coming from the rich history that we derived from. You know, but because, of course, the colonizers, slave master, the supremacists, the white supremacists, of course they didn't want you to have any pride in being black. That's one of the reasons why it was against the law for us to learn how to read or write or just learn basic concepts of humanity. It was against the law for that, right? Okay. But today, you know, it's time to soak up all that knowledge, because that knowledge encompasses who you are, if you understand what I'm saying. Black is knowledge, right? Melanated people is knowledge, because your people been on the planet so long and been studying so much and been gathering so much knowledge, and that knowledge has been passed on through your subconscious, through your DNA, through your genetic coding for generations upon generations upon generations. It's just sitting in there lying within you, just dormant. Give you proof. Why the doctor always asks you, is there a history of heart trouble in your parents? What about your grandparents? What about in your family line? You're like, nah. Is there a history of any diabetes in your parents or your grandparents or your... No, they check your family history for any disease or disease, right? Because they know that that's passed down through blood. But not only is disease passed down through blood, all the positive attributes and aspects of you has been passed down through blood that your ancestors carried. That knowledge, the fact that they love to read, the fact that they love to discover science and understand how to take care of this planet Earth, that's all in all melanated people. And the colonizer knew that, so his job was to block it. How else can he rule over you or make you into a slave if he don't attack the mind first? Then the body will follow. So he had to take certain things away from you. He had to take certain knowledge away from you. He had to not allow you to read or write. That was part of the game in making the slave. Because the mind, that mind is so powerful, right? You understand. I'm gonna tell you how you know the mind is so powerful. You can go back to elementary school, right? And you can go to where you wanted something so bad that you put your mind on it and you put it on the universe, and bam, there it was. Or you could be thinking of something and it just popped up. And you're like, wow, you know. And some of you had some incidents that actually took place that scared you, and you ran from it. Was like, you know, it shook you, you know, it scared you. So you know how powerful the mind is. It's just now you gotta get reacquainted and use that mind to as a tool to call things into existence for the betterment of yourself and your people. You know, it's as simple as that. But in this current climate, once your president, Trump, retweeted that white power saying that the older white guy said on the golf course, and he yelled out "white power," and Trump retweeted that. Now that was the last straw. That was the Great Divide. Now, after he did that, even though he took it down, but it went viral. Whatever chances he had to win the re-election of the President of the United States, he just threw that out the window. So the odds of him winning is actually slim to none. Actually slim to none, right? Specifically behind him, that retweet that he did, right? Because what he's saying is there's no way I'll let any black or melanated person get an ounce or a degree, even if it just appears to be or seems to be, like they're ahead of any white person. And that's the downfall. No matter how educated you are, no matter how you do your hair, no matter what you wear, no matter how long you study, never mind how much money you have, he's saying I never recognize it to where it gives you any kind of standing or footing. And it's playing out. It's playing out. You can see it. Right? They're saying, now, if you look at his cabinet, right, and a lot of pictures, Trump has nothing but white men around him and a few white women, right? Even though this is a diverse nation. Nation of immigrants, as they called it. They don't know how to communicate the needs of the other quote unquote minorities that's in America. I don't know why folks don't know what's going on. They don't have nobody from the community advising them on, this the proper response. Don't do so and so. This is offensive. This is a certain holiday that it shows that they not even interested into black affairs. They don't care. So of course their response will always be offbeat, because they're showing that we don't have any liaison into the black community, which feeds back up to the top. And then it comes back on the people in a way that's comfortable and the people can understand. And no, it's totally disregard. Blatant disregard. And so the people are like, okay, they trust me. The people understand. They see it. Then you retweet white power. Wow, okay. People understand. They see that. Now, I'm in the grocery store, right? And the lady was like, good. Now, I heard of the blackout from July the 7th where black people are not spending anything in their stores to show strength and a source of unity. Meaning that, man, come on, America, you're going to take our black dollars, but you're going to kill us, and have these police chiefs come up with these outrageous lies and bagging the killers as though our lives don't even really matter. So that's why they say Black Lives Matter. As I say, Black lives are valuable. But okay. And so you want to do all those things. White power. You want to retweet that. Okay. So while I'm in the store, the lady, she's like, yeah, we're going to, from July 1st to July 7th, we not spending $9. I'm like, wow, okay, okay, okay. To show what society and this economic structure would look like without that black dollar. You know? Meaning that these are measures and steps that has to be taken in order to rid the dis-ease or the disease of racism. You know, because you got people at a point to where they can't function up under. It's too thick. You can't function up under racism. Especially, come on, you can't take racism from someone that's, that's a peon, that's insignificant to you, but yet they run up and stick their chests out and want to call you all kind of names, and it's like, it's like a net, like a fly. It's like you can swat them, but there's so many to swat. It's like, okay, well, just why don't you go on off and why don't you just go on off and get rid of yourself? It gets to that point to where, it's like an irritant, like you don't have nothing better else. You that sick in the mind to where you don't have anything better else to do. You know what I mean? You that throw it off till that's all you got, right? That's your whole state of existence. That's a sorry, pitiful, piss-po state of existence. To sit there and find ways to hate somebody based upon the melanin, that good melanin that God gave them, that God gave them. Because our races, if you alive on this planet, the black man and the woman was your doorway to even get on the planet. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. You can't change the science. So to waste all your time and drop all that energy and negativity and anger and spew it out as something that the God created, it's like you're making a fool of yourself. But, hey, if you choose to make a fool of yourself, that's fine. Now, on the Hulu series they had, it was titled The Divided States, right? And it was basically about, the one episode was about a gentleman in Heller, Pennsylvania, right? He was going to, they moved from Austin, Texas. This guy was going to a predominantly white high school. Mother black, his father was white, right? And this brother was getting harassed and, dogged out, with all kind of racial slurs and sayings, and it got so bad to where, he was actually fed up. He couldn't take it no more. So one day they had a hot wing eating contest, so he entered it, right? And boy, they went in on the chicken jokes and the black man, and one dude filmed him and would call him nigger and talked about his welfare, saying he was on welfare and you ate them hot wing chicken and what your welfare check didn't come, and just, they agitated, how they do. They get in your face like gnats, like flies, just buzzing, nigga, yeah, just talking all that shit, right? And then the brother got him, bam, beat him out, started beating his ass, right? He had enough, right? Because, white folks like to say, well, they're just words, because they always, but, okay, white folks, okay, I take that back. Y'all do show a sign or a sense of unity, because y'all will protect y'all own, right? Even if it's some wrong shit. Even if it's some throw it off ignorant shit, but y'all still will ride with each other till the end. Goddamn, y'all could be dead wrong, but y'all gonna ride that dead wrong to the end. So They like it's just words. He shouldn't have to and all this, but actually, no, it's not words. Because when you videoed it and you demeaning his character, you slandered his name. That's a lawsuit. So anyway, the white family filed charges on the black dude, and this what always gets me. This always gets me. I even seen it. They'll talk all that shit. Soon as you bing them and get the best of them, now all of a sudden they want to get the police involved. Why? Because they know that the police is there to protect them. In their mind, the police is not there to protect you. White people feel like the police is there for them, so they'll get on their phone and talk all that shit. But any video you watch, white folks calling the police on somebody black, watch how their voice change as soon as the police pick up on the phone. Now all of a sudden they start sounding like they're a victim and they on their last leg and they panicking and they so scared, even though you initiated the situation, right? You know, that's a norm. You see that all over. I don't care what state you're in. Is that what you is? It's because you got a lot of black people that's not privy to grow up in white homes, so you don't know the code and what they're being taught at the dinner table. But it seems like they all be on cue, right? Except the ones who, like I said, octoroon, quadroon, the ones that got a little black in them or a Jew or, they know, what I'm saying? They get dogged out too because white people know their own. So anyway, boy jumped on him. Got tired of being harassed and called a nigger and so on and so. So he grabs the little white dude, started beating his ass. The white guy parents pressed assault charges on the black dude. He had to go to probation, but what the black parents should have done is took that video first to beat them. Go to police first with the video and put it on record. That's what you do. You know what I mean? Because his father, the black dude's father, is white. And he even admitted it, that since he didn't grow up black, he didn't understand what his son was going through until, he was on probation. He saw the video and he was like, had to apologize in the sense like, man, I had no idea that, you my son, your mom's black, but man, I feel bad for what you're going through. I didn't know, that racism was to that degree. But you white in America, man, come on. You got friends that you went to school with and that participated in that verbal language and racism and whatnot. Even when you was younger, if you didn't participate it within yourself, but okay, yeah, okay. But anyway, so, they're trying to form a community outreach and sorts to tackle the issue of racism and whatnot. And this is where Verbal Pig Radio steps in, right? Because the approach for peace and unity amongst the races is all wrong. It's all wrong. It comes from a angle of kind of a docileness, like, look, the meaning we have in here is to get you white people to like us black people. Or the meeting that we're having here is to get you white people to understand that black people are okay. The purpose of us having this meeting here is to get you white people to, give us some breathing room, get off our backs. You're not coming from a position of power. You're not leveling the playing field. It should be the purpose of this meeting here is that we spend our money in the society and our tax dollars. You don't have to speak to me. You don't even have to like me. But don't bother me. Don't bother my children. Don't bother my home where I stay. Don't bother my family. And we'll be okay. That's all. We'll be okay. You don't bother me, I won't bother you. That's the mindset you gotta have. You can't have the mindset of, look, I just want to get along, and hey, we're okay, and I wish one day you'd like us and accept us in as one of your own. That's it. It don't work. Don't work like that. If the universe presents it to where it naturally comes that way. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? And y'all don't even playing field. You got okay, cool. And, we roll. Yeah, no problem. Right? That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's natural. But when you try to force acceptance, it never works, man. Look, you can't force nobody to like you. You shouldn't even want somebody that don't like you to like you, because as soon as you turn your back, they got a knife in them. Got a knife in your back. You know what I'm saying? So don't even try that. Don't worry about that. You just sending the message, hey, man, don't bother me, I won't bother you. That's all. And that's it. Hey, you showing me peace, I show you peace. Hey, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Don't mess with my family, I won't mess with your family. Simple as that. Don't hang my family from trees, I won't hang your family from trees. That's fair. Is that like Hammurabi's law? You know what I mean? Old ancient laws, Old Testament, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Matter of fact, it just popped up. Preachers, teach that Old Testament. Teach that eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Next time, when this corona is up and you get your flight, at least I know you're getting the money. I know you're getting your tithes. Hell, at least give them something for their tithing. Don't teach that milk toast, turn the other cheek religion. That ain't gonna do nothing but get black folk killed. Now, you know what that milk toast, turn the other cheek religion that you teach black folks, you know what that does? It make them, it hesitates. It hesitates their forward motion. It hesitates their action, because in the back of their mind they thinking, I don't want to hurt white Jesus. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to do nothing to upset white Jesus, even though I'm being hurt. But I got to be the bigger person, and I got to take their pain, because they know not what they doing, but they've been doing it for 400 years. You get what I'm saying? Now you teach that Old Testament, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You know what I mean? Okay, now we can. And then we got to understand it. Give them some, give them their money's worth. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all we saying here on Verbal Pick Radio. But yeah, what is it to be black? It's to be educated, to have your economics in order, or economics in order, to build, to have love for your family. And one thing too, and love what you put in your body, Eating properly and eating right is important. It's important. Read How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And trust me, we struggle with that. Black people struggle with a proper diet in America. A lot of it stems from that slave food, chitlins, and the pork and the scraps, that they threw, that we had to put together to try to make a meal to feed our families and whatnot. But we gotta break that cycle. Do better, eat better. Your health is your wealth, as Brother Abdullah tell me. Shout out to Graphic Graphics, man. Definitely putting it down. They'll definitely, man, support that. Before we get out of here, man, shout out to A-Tone Productions. My boy D Rhymes, man. Man, brother was gone too soon. But rest in power. A soldier, man. Brother went too soon. Brother Low Key, Gino, Brother Jamal, man, definitely, bro. You know what I'm saying? We be tossing around that knowledge, man, like a football. Ain't nobody fumbled yet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a blessing. But y'all think, man, this is the COVID-19. You can't get out and move around, like you normally would. But this is the time to think and read. Even if you're not reading, get in a dark room, man, and meditate. And then start and getting deep thought. And ask yourself, you want to know something? Get in the dark room, right? Meditate, get quiet. You might throw some jazz on, but some mellow music. Not no low vibratory music, but some high vibratory music. Some mellow music or some ohms or whatnot. Sit back and think for a minute, right? Just meditate, you dig? And then ask yourself some questions. Just talk to you for a minute, man. Ask you what you want to do. Ask you what you gonna do. You know what I mean? Ask you what are you capable of doing. Ask you how do you see yourself in the future and where you want to be in the future. Just sit back and talk to you for a minute. Just you for a minute. You know what I mean? After that, then pray. But ask you some questions, serious questions. Ask yourself how you want to see society after we come up out of this pandemic and because we're not coming out of racism. Racism is going to be here, but how we going to come out and deal with the racism after the killings of all these people? Ask yourself, how do you want to see society? Your city, your neighborhood, your side of town. You know what I mean? And then once you get that together, then you got to start thinking that, man, and it's hard. Trust me, it's hard. But you got to start thinking less geographically, meaning the whole city is one. Then you got to say your city plus the two closest cities is one. And then you got to start trading with each other. Ego, jealousy, counting another man's pocket and how much money he doing and what, all this dead, man. Because people are only going to do as far as their knowledge and wisdom take them. So it's unfair. If this man's sitting, reading and studying and then applying it to his life, of course he's gonna go far. But if this person don't want to read, but comfortable with what they doing, that's their business. Enjoy your life, have you some fun, But don't look over there at the next man and be like, "What you over there doing?" Hell, I'm over there doing what I'm over here doing. What you over there doing? Now, if you got a business plan, if you got something, a plus to add to what we doing, then put it on the table and let's build. Let's go get it. If not, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What else? Anything else I can add before I go? No, I think that's about it. You know what I'm saying? And look, if I do come up with something, we'll do another show. Look, Verbal Pick Radio. We are